who are you? As far as my question, like, who are you and what's your cause?
Yeah.
What's your passion, your drive for what you're doing?
Well, I'm a son of a big family. I got some 17 brothers and sisters. Come from a large family from the inner city, Dixon Home Project. And basically, what drives a lot of my passion is that growing up and seeing the lack of resources being given to a lot of families within the community, but knowing that the resources was out there. I was able to start at a young age, basically getting engaged with this political aspect of life. And a friend of mine ran for lawyer. I was about 18 years old. I was helped him on this campaign to run for lawyer. We was able to get 50,000 votes, right, out of that. But what that did for me was it gave me a name out here, and that name basically resonated to Governor Brotherson was running for office. I moved to Atlanta. They called me to come back here to help run his campaign as a coordinator. And when I was in some of those meetings in Nashville, as a coordinator for Shelby County, I was always hearing them say the political people in Memphis don't care about the people. They don't really come here asking for things for the people in the community. Where I was one that was in need coming out of the community, right? Yeah. And I'm wondering why we always in the projects didn't have the resources that we need. Where we were sending people to office that wasn't really representative, came and smiled in our face, but all the time behind our back, they weren't doing. Yeah. So my passion basically came out of some of that conversation, and knowing that, and then so I talked to one of our political leaders, and I asked him, what are you doing for the community, and what are you doing, basically to help the community? He shared with me that Charlie, the community don't really ask for nothing, so I don't know what to ask for. But I mean, here you are supposed to be our representative. You don't see the need. Yeah. And so that kind of gave me the mindset that we got to be visible. We got to be vocal. We got to be valuable. You got to stand up. You got to say something. And that's the 3 B's. Yeah. So, so a lot of that comes out of that, out of my struggles, right? I say it all the time, that God will turn your mess into a message, right? Yeah. And so the mess that I live in poverty is now my ministry. It's a message that I live out my life, right? And so I try to use that, in helping other people. One of the I say, if you go back even further than that, is when I was in the 5th grade, right? So we were staying in Dixon Home, and we knew we weren't gonna have enough for Christmas that year. Yeah. Mama said, "There ain't no money here." My dad had moved out, and we basically didn't have nothing. And so I was sad about that. And then all of a sudden we get a knock on the door. Yeah. And it was my 5th grade teacher, this white guy, Mr. Snipes, and I'll never forget him. But he had bags of stuff, toys and clothes and everything. He said, "I thought about your family, and I wanted to do something to support, give y'all." From that day, man, and then seeing that we had so much toys for me and my family, we was able to go next door and help other families. See those other kids light up.
Just that one
gesture.
Yeah.
And so to this day, that sticks with me, and knowing that all it is about connecting people with resources, right? True. And if they know that it's out there and you can connect them with it, you can change their life.
See, that's basically like the base of this whole magazine. Yeah. Letting people know we got to use resources here, because I feel like too many people get caught in the negativity out here.
Right.
Where, to know we got an art school here, not just to dance and stuff like that. There's so many kids out here that would do stuff, but they got disencouraged because they live in this society where encouragement is not encouraged.
Because, I mean, and a lot of it, I work with that every day, is that, especially in this community, is that you got a lot of babies raising babies, right? And they come from broken cycles of poverty, right? Mm-hmm. And so they mothers never seen nothing happen for them. They mamas never seen anything happen for them. So why do these kids should expect anything different? And so the thing is, and you probably see, I put a lot on Facebook when I said 3 Release, is game changer. Mm-hmm. We got to change the game. Is that unless we start to give our kids something to hope for, let them see more that's out there, experience, that right there is going to give us the opportunity to start to change the game. I was happy to be a part of helping the kids when they went to Spain, and the Fraser kids, and donating and supporting that cause and pushing that cause. was because these were some kids who never ever just even went over the state line. They never left this neighborhood. Yeah. And not only did they see that they can leave this neighborhood, they went to a whole nother country.
Yeah.
And so now it gives them so much hope. And like I was talking with one of the mamas yesterday who child went, she said, Charlie, you know, my son came to me, he was like, Mama, don't even worry about buying no new clothes. We got to look through what we had last year, and we can use, you know, what we had. That did so much for her because she'll see her mama struggling and trying to keep up with these other Jones. You know, she don't have to do that now because her kids recognize there's kids over there.
It's way bigger than that.
It's bigger than just what these other kids are trying to get. You know, just getting some more. So to have to, we need to put that on videotape and maybe help a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Because that a lot of parents, because they didn't have their parents giving them, they have been conformed to this mindset. I want my kids to have more than I had, but it ain't about the material things. It's just the time spending with them, you know, and giving them that. But they don't know how because nobody really spent time with them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, breaking that cycle, right? And as what the work we do here is that we try to take a village to raise a child, right? It's not just the dad and the mama, because we know dad and mama ain't there. That two-parent household is not in our community. It's on the most scale. It's there in some part. So how do you fix that? That means you got to get the police, the politicians, the parents, the principals, the proprietors, the 7 Ps that I work with and talk about in my book to come together to build a union around these children and tell them that we all in here for you. Because that's what the kids do. When they walk outside their door, they don't just deal with mama and them no more. They deal with the policemen. They deal with the issues around politics. And politics is there when you don't even see it, right? Yeah. The fact that you don't have enough police in your neighborhood is because of political strategies.
Yeah.
You know, and if you put the right person there, they're going to argue to make sure we ain't got crime, because we're going to have police on every street corner if we have to. Parked in the middle of the street like they do in Bartlett.
Yeah.
To make sure that presence is there.
It's felt to know, like, we patrolling, we doing something for the community.
Right. And so that's something, that's what my movement and what I'm doing is all about, is getting that message out there, is that you can do more if you know more. You know, the Bible put it, our people perish because of lack of knowledge.
I know that one.
And so what I'm trying to do through all that I learned over these years is share that knowledge with others, our young people especially, and then the parents, and then the community as a whole. And I feel that, and that's the reason why I did a 3 curriculum. I got the youth curriculum for a 3B leader, I got a parent university curriculum, and then I got the Neighborhood Council Institute. That's a curriculum. And all of it involves pulling the 7 Ps together. And all of it involves us coming together and doing something that's going to help benefit our community as a whole. And so they basically, through the curriculum, is that you learn from each other, and then you come together and say, what can we do with each other? And therefore, that's what you had this past Saturday when we did the Fraser Day event, was that this neighborhood council have caught the vision that I wrote about in chapter 16 of my book, Unity in the Community. They adopted that Unity in the Community from my book, and so they allowed me to be the one to train the residents to be ambassadors to their blocks and to become engaged in the community, in the events of the community. So our whole goal and outline of that is to build a quality of life in our community, right? It ain't about building the building, it's the quality of life. It's to know and expect more, right, from what we have in our environment. And that hasn't been required of this community, of most inner city communities. It's like, just take what you get and keep on moving. And so
hood mentality. Yeah, they ain't gonna get no better. You gotta survive just with what you got here.
What you got. And the thing is that what we found out in the work is that they recognize me, even though here you got a boy that dropped out of high school, this boy got enough vision that not only do we accept it, but this man, now that they sent the plan out back to Washington sent it to the other 4 cities. The other 4 cities is looking to implement unity in the community and working on parts of it in their community. This came from a boy out of the projects of Dixon Home. So this tell you that we got people like me. Matter of fact, I just left across the street, Stephanie Love. She sit on the Fraser Neighborhood Council, right? She straight from Rolling Hills, but from the hood. Yeah. Dropped out of school, got a GED. But guess what? We just got read in the newspaper. Commercial Appeal just endorsed for a school board commission. We got to run it for school board commission. So this to show you, we took somebody from the hood, put them on the neighborhood council, groomed them. Now they running for school board commission. Yeah. So this is the talent in the abilities that we have in our community that we haven't tapped, the potential that we haven't tapped yet. Yeah. So through the efforts of what I'm doing is to tap that potential. You know, I was reading on Facebook where I posted saying, because I walk in a strong confidence, right? Because I came through a lot, right? My confidence is not in me, but it's in greater is He that is in me. So you can't take that's in me out of me because I believe and receive, right? Yeah. And so because I do, it may seem like that people say, man, he prideful of wait. No. I'm proud of where I came from. But I said to that effect that let me apologize if my confidence seems like it's pride, right? And one of the ladies commented on there, she came here, no GED. I put her in as my assistant here at Rangeline, worked for me almost a year here. Now she's a project manager with Habitat for Humanity, building houses. And she put on there, Chuck, you don't have to apologize because what you've been teaching us transformed my life. So they got a GED going up now and become a project manager building houses, you see. Yeah. Just because she stood up under somebody that believed, despite of where he came from, that you can do whatever you put your mind to do. So that's my drive, man. It's basically taking nothing and making something out of it. Yeah. And what it appears to be nothing, there's really something there. Yeah. But and especially in our young people, because they don't have parents who gave them hope, because their parents never had hope.
Like that cycle.
That cycle. So that's a lot of what my drive is.
Yeah. Just tell me a little bit different. I know you're talking about your not the 3 V's, but the curriculum that you got. What's more the cause that you're doing? I know you got with the baby store and the Rangeline City Fair, and I know you said you're doing your book. We already did your book, but what's some of all the causes you're doing that's beneficial for the community?
Well, I think in whole, it's the work that I'm doing through Rangeline. And when I first started off with Rangeline, I didn't know what it is what I was supposed to. Because I come out of car business for 12 years, and when they asked me to be the executive director here, I'm like, oh, community development center, I ain't know what. I just knew I had a passion for people. But I used that passion, like I said, in the car business. Well, what I did initially was I took a survey. So I began to do the surveys, and after surveying the residents and seeing what the needs was for the community, then I started to focus in. That's how we ended up doing the work around the infant mortality and around the teen pregnancy. It was because we seen that it was a lot of teen moms out here dropping out of school, talking about I don't know what no doctor had, and so we had so many babies dying because these resources weren't available to them.
So that's the forefront of everything that you're doing.
Well, it was. 3V Leader is now.
Okay.
Yeah. Rangeline was the foundation.
Okay.
3V Leaders is now the framework for the work. Rangeline basically, through that work, I became the executive director some 6 years ago. And out of that, this is a community-based organization that basically asked me to come on board to help build the reputation of the organization and help build the capacity of residents being more involved and engaged. And in that work, I wrote a plan that basically in partnership, I was going through a training with a guy named Jesse Epps. Jesse Epps is he was a union head, 1968. He was the one who actually brought Dr. King here to Memphis. He's staying in Philadelphia now. And he heard about what I was doing here in Memphis. And so he sent a couple of his lieutenants down, and they began to work with me on the plan of unity in the community. And he said, Charlie, basically what you're doing is what me and Dr. King them sat down back in 68 to put together. And the plan was to build the community's neighborhood, build the city. Well, let me how I say, build communities neighborhood by neighborhood. Right? It was legislative district by legislative district. I'm sorry. And so it was the focus was to put block captains in the community and have them get timely information out to the residents that engaged and had everybody working on one accord to identify leaders that they send to the state level that then represents them, because most of the funding that comes down to the municipality comes from the state level. And so making sure that we had the proper representation in Nashville, and that we then can call shots on the ground. And so,
more effective.
Yeah, understanding policy and procedure, and basically getting the residents on the ground engaged in that and having these types. So that's the basics of what I'm doing with Rangeline, and it was basically training residents to become block captains and what we call Fraser ambassadors. Take back your community. Getting out timely information, not waiting till the budget coming up. No, we already working on a plan before budget coming up.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we're getting ready to write letters now to the state for next year's budget. Yeah. And so getting ahead of the game to say that this is what our community wants. We don't want to wait till the budget come and then say, well, we already figured out what we're going to do with the budget. No, we sent y'all some a year ago. So you're getting ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And so that's basically my job and the basics of what I'm doing to empower the residents in the community to take it back for themselves. And hopefully what happens out of this is that through the Fraser Neighborhood Council, we're looking for the federal government to say, we don't have to send the money to the state, which take out their percentage. Yeah. By the time they get to the municipality, they take out their percentage. By the time they get to us in the community, it's hardly nothing there but peanuts.
Yeah.
What we saying is we will and capable as a community to write a plan, know what we need to do, and enforce that plan. So stop send it straight from the feds to us. So all the red tape dollars come to us. We then cut all of the, making sure everything gets done on the ground. So that's kind of the strategic plan of what we're doing with this model.
Okay.
That's my role as a director of Rangeline, is to help in that capacity, so that stuff like what I'm doing with the baby store and other things, that we're not doing it on peanuts.
Yeah.
See, right now I'm doing it on peanuts. So they got $4.5 million. When they got to me, it was only $150,000.
Yeah.
So you hired all these directors, all these coordinators, and all these people that got paid, but the people on the ground who doing the work don't get the money.
Yeah.
So we want to cut all of that out to make sure that we have a plan of action in place that brings sustainability to the work that we're doing. So.
I understand that. Yeah. I just got two more questions here for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the word dedication,
right,
what does that mean to you?
Man, that means that you're putting it all in. You going all in for the cause. That means that, if I'm committed to a mission, then I'm going to put everything that I have behind that mission till we fulfill the cause of that mission. And that's what, because when I think about it, I'm a vision person, right? And so as a vision person, and coming especially on the Pastor Floyd, as he said, write the vision, make it plain, is that once I write down the vision and I see it, the Bible says he that see it will run with it. And so they say he that see it, even though, so a lot of times we'll write the vision and think it's for somebody else. No, it's for you to run with it. And when you run, other folks begin to run. So me being dedicated to the work that in the calling that God got calls other people to join. Yeah. So now, it was easy for me to sell what I'm doing with the unity in the community that was in my book to the neighborhood council and get them on board, because I already got dedicated to the work. They seen somebody who was already committed, so dedication brings about other people being committed to the process. And
so that's how you said, bringing encouragement to other people.
Right.
Like they seeing you being dedicated to something that's your vision, and saying that I see that, man, he's trying to do something.
Right.
And I understand.
I want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to hear with you today. Perseverance.
So I'm going to say, when I was 12 years old, right, in camp, you know what my word was? So we all had a word. It was dedication. But I was 8, perseverance, right? So you heard how I said. So every time I jump out of line, I jump out as I was an OP leader.
Yeah.
And I jump out and say 8, perseverance. That was my word. So I had to study it. What was that all about? And basically for me, that was being somebody that was being persistent all the way through. Being able to, despite what obstacles that you face, you still are able to continue to hop over those. And again, it goes back to my childhood growing up in poverty, growing up to the point to where my brother was a big drug dealer, and then we had all of these obstacles coming in that, you know, folks trying to shoot up our house, and, you know, boys wanted to jump on me at school because he was a part of another group, but me still going and continuing to fight on and not letting nothing. Some boy was afraid of me at school, little as I was, because they like, he got to be crazy. He's still coming over up to the, you know, through their community, knowing that they didn't like us. But I walk through there every day, going to school. Like, what's the problem? I got to get to my education.
Yeah, you gotta get to
I was focused on something.
Yeah.
And so that's what perseverance means to me, is if once you focus in on it, regardless of what you're going through,